Welcome to a special edition of USFDons.com, an exclusive right here broadcasting from the Bill Russell studio as we break down the UEFA European Championships as 16 countries vie for bragging rights over the next month. I'm joined by a panel of experts alongside me, all the way at my far left, Dr. Ron Shinault, and men's soccer assistants Mike Carbone and Dan Chamberlain. And let's get right into the beginning of this. Let's start with Group A and let's break it down right now. We have Russia, Poland, Czech Republic, and Greece in this group, which this group hasn't been labeled as the strongest group, probably the weakest group of the entire tournament, guys.
Definitely, but I also think definitely the most balanced group. I think any one of those teams can walk away with the group victory, and it's going to be an interesting group to watch for sure, because I think every single one of those games is going to be evenly matched and competitive.
And the Russian team, always a strong side, and have typically been strong teams in the past with opportunities to win. This year they're looking into it. Have to be careful for the Polish, but I look for the Russians to possibly advance as well.
And I look for the Czech Republic to bring a strong side. I look for the resurgence of Tomáš Rosický to bring the team forward, and I think they've got a good shot at advancing.
All right, guys, so picks from Group A. Who do you think advances? Is it Russia? They went to the semifinals in 2008, but Poland is hosting. So who are your two picks in Group A?
I'm going to go with Russia and Poland. Russia qualifying first out of the group, Poland coming in second as the host country.
I'm going to go with Russia and Poland as well. I think the Poles are actually a sleeper team to maybe even make a run into the semifinals of the tournament.
And I'm going to go with the dark horse of the Greece to pull through in the second slot, and Czech Republic to take the first slot.
Now we're going to segue into Group B, which is the group of death. We have Denmark, Portugal, Germany, and Holland in this group. Now, 4 of these teams are the top 10 teams in the FIFA World Rankings. Portugal slipping in the last 3 or 4 tournaments, but when they hosted the Euros in 2004, they made the final in that year. Germany has won this tournament more than any other team. Denmark in this group could be a tricky side. And then Holland, the finalists from 2010. Maybe they'll see if they can avenge that loss to Spain. What do you think, guys?
I actually think this group's going to be pretty simple. Yes, you have a lot of high-powered teams, but I think it comes down to a lot of recent form. You have Holland, which has been in excellent form. You have a lot of players coming off very good club seasons. Germany, who is always dangerous in this. Portugal, who I think has been very poor, has a couple injuries, and is really a one-player team at the moment. And then Denmark, which is kind of the leftover and got really almost very unlucky picking this group. So I actually think it's been labeled the group of death, but I think it's going to be one of the most simplistic groups that there is.
I think the one thing in this group that could be the deciding factor is which team's going to keep the ball out of their goal. They all can score goals. Denmark, a lot of teams think they're really going to be up against it. I think they do have an opportunity to advance knowing that they are the one team in the group that's going to have to defend. The Germans can score goals. The Dutch, with the recovered Afellay from knee injury, really stabilizing the width for them, are going to be dangerous in scoring goals, but they've not proven in the big tournaments to keep the ball out of their net. And the Portuguese, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, it could be a bag of tricks with Ronaldo and Nani flying down the wing, smashing the ball in the goal, but they're also capable of going out in 3 games and not making any noise at all.
I think this group is going to come down to experience. The Germans have shown that they're the machine. They have a team that did really well, advancing to the semifinals of the last World Cup. And I think the experience of the Dutch with Van der Vaart and Van Persie coming off an excellent season, I think that the experience is ultimately going to play itself out to success.
I think it's simple. It's going to be the Dutch and the Germans.
I'm going to go along with Dan there. I don't think it's a hard choice. I think at the end of the day, the Dutch and Germans have more quality and more players playing at a higher level. And unless there's a big upset, I can't see them going out.
I'm going to round out the group and agree the Dutch and the Germans going forward, but look for that matchup in the group stage with the Dutch and the Germans for that battle for the first place, because that's going to be a big game.